subscribers in under a year. You guys tell us, AWOL, of course you have done this before. You already have a giant audience. Oh my gosh, you guys are such big YouTubers, blah, blah, blah. Well, we just did it from scratch on the Digital Drop podcast channel. We're going to tell you exactly how we did it. All of the best practices that went behind growing our channel from scratch. We're now fully monetized in YPP in less than a year. How can you do it? We're going to give you every best practice right now. Stick around. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
All right, what we're looking at right now on the screen is our analytics from our personal YouTube channel, the Digital Drop channel. Like AWOL just said, you know, we spit all this knowledge at you, but we actually follow our own advice. And as you can see, we did this from the analytics here. And for people who are listening at home, from about January 1st, 2020 up until about, I don't know, April 5th is when we were actually just doing about one episode a week. But then April came, we're like, all right, we got to crank this up. We got to start cranking out the content. We got to start putting out daily content. And for those of you listening at home, you can actually see where we actually started releasing the daily content and the growth that it took on from there, and that's still continuing today. Was it around April, guys, that we actually started doing daily episodes? I'm trying to remember because I want to correlate this to the analytics.
Yeah, it was actually June when we started really ramping it up, and we decided, you know what, let's do a high quantity strategy. I mean, April we started going there, and then June we went full force with it, I believe, kind of right after COVID. And we realized that we were doing these highly produced podcast episodes. Ross was spending hours in editing, right, Ross? And me too.
Yeah.
Editing every audio version of our podcasts. And then we'd release the replays later. And we were spending about 4 hours or so in post-production every single episode, and only getting out 1 to 3-ish episodes, or 1 episode per week-ish. And we decided, you know what, if we want to grow fast, we need to take our own advice. And so we decided, let's not do 1 episode per week. Let's do 4 to 5 episodes per week. And let's just shove it on the air and go live and just deliver as much value as possible, as frequently as possible, and just see what happens. And the results, they speak for themselves right here in analytics.
Yeah, it's really nice to be able to do this from an experiment of a brand new channel and show you what a blank slate to growth looks like. Because normally I'm always going back to my old channel and trying to re-stir up growth. And so we got 1,200 subscribers now. And this is basically within 1 year. Part of the way we did this and listening to our own advice wasn't just our strategy on YouTube. It wasn't just increasing the numbers on just YouTube. We also multi-stream. So we went to every audio platform. We took our own advice. We said, the idea was get as many eyeballs everywhere across the internet as possible with our content. So we're restreaming right now to Twitch, to DLive, to Facebook. Let me scroll down here, to Trovo, to YouTube, to Periscope. And we've been doing this with the new strategy especially once we started going every single day. So we're on 6 platforms here, and then we'll publish to all the different audio platforms as well. So we're pretty much everywhere. And that's part of the reason to our success. And then we can link back to YouTube and show the growth there. But us being all over the internet, getting eyeballs, this allows viewers and listeners to find us on the platform that's most convenient for them and consume our content there, which normally happens to be YouTube. So multi-streaming and spreading your content and diversifying across multiple platforms can help your growth on YouTube, because YouTube is such a big juggernaut platform, and it's one that's universally liked pretty much everywhere by everybody. So I think that helped in our growth as well. What's another strategy item, guys, that we focused on specifically that we've talked here in the podcast?
Yeah,
that has helped us grow here?
Yeah, I mean, one of the items, Ross, go ahead and drop in chat form our link to Restream. It's working for us right now. We went from 0 to monetized in less than a year on the channel. So many of you guys are struggling even to get YPP and to get monetization enabled. We did it because of Restream. It's one of those things that you talked about a moment ago, where if we're streaming on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch and all of these platforms, and we're on audio, we're showing up in the inboxes, in the subscription boxes of all of our followers, no matter where they're at. we're on like 9 different audio platforms, like 6 different live streaming platforms at the same time. And so people will end up going and wanting to watch the YouTube replay because that's the best replay experience. And we drive traffic from essentially every follower on every platform to our YouTube channel passively as a result. So that strategy works fantastically, and it helps keep all of your platforms engaged. Not to mention it diversifies you for the future. And another strategy that we've been using for the podcast is our research method for episodes. Before we do any episode at all, and if you want to pull up Tubebuddy on the screen and just prepare this so we can just show them, Perrin, we come up with ideas. Like for today's episode, for example. How do you come up with 5 podcast topics every single week and to keep it fresh? Well, one of our research methods is we just go to our favorite YouTubers in the space. Ross did this today. Or yesterday, and we just go look at things that they're covering, and we see if any of that inspires us to do our own twist on what they've already done, if we run out of ideas. Then, once we kind of find an idea we sort of like, one thing that Andrew Perrin does and our team does using Tubebuddy is we go look up that topic and try to find an optimized title for that particular topic that's got low supply and high demand. Let me pull up the screen here, and boys, walk everybody through this research process, because what this does is you have an idea in your head, but you need to validate that the idea in your head for the content actually has a chance of succeeding on YouTube by using a secondary tool like this to help give you confirmation or to help you modify the concept into something that could get more traction through YouTube search, because YouTube search is where we've got almost all of our growth on our YouTube channel. And this time next year, we're going to be at like 10,000, 20,000 subs on the channel on this growth trajectory. Show us what you're doing on the screen, amigo.
So we're using Tubebuddy. This is an extension that I've installed to Chrome. And this is like one of the funnest things I think about planning YouTube content is trying to figure out a title that's just gonna kill and it's gonna get lots of search. And you can experiment around up here in the Explore tool. It's just almost like Google searching a title, right? So AWOL just dropped this title, how to get 1,000 subs in 1 year, based off of Ross's research. So I took this, I tossed it in here just to see how it will do. And we got 99 out of 100, an excellent score, which is actually really, really rare. Normally, we're getting around like 75 to like 85, and that's a good target range. But 99 out of 100 is amazing. So this means that this video should do crazy well on search. And we should see a lot of views increase over time with this as it gets more traction in search, as more people search this. But look down here at search volume. Right now, tons of people are searching this. It's actually maxed out, according to Tubebuddy's numbers. It's maxed out in terms of how much demand there is here for this. And the competition, unweighted, is actually, it's not so great. It's good. It's yellow here, which means we wouldn't have too much competition if we were to make a video here. So demand is really, really great. Supply is okay. So we have an opportunity to get in on the amount of searches and get our video noticed, so much so that it's rating us a 99 out of 100, which, like I said, is a really, really amazing score. If you're ever doing this method and you get that score, especially if you go to weighted, I'm looking at unweighted. This is weighted with my personal channel, which actually this one's still very good weighted. But if you ever get a score like this, this is a potential winner video for you that you'll put in the bank, and it will get you views for months, maybe even years, right? Well, like sometimes when we do these and they get this type of score, we're getting views on this for years in some cases.
That's right. And one thing to note about Tubebuddy as a tool can help you understand what the better concepts are. But I think it's even more useful for you YouTubers trying to grow to understand which ones are the bad concepts that are way oversaturated and there's too much competition. I think that's what it's even better at identifying. So this 99 score, could it be glitched? Is it actually a 99? Who cares, really? What this helps validate is that this topic isn't way oversaturated and that you aren't competing against the biggest tubers on all of YouTube for that topic. That's the whole point. Because as a small YouTuber, you want to make sure that you're fighting against much smaller competition so that you have a higher chance of success. So that's the main thing to keep in mind there. But we have a comment here from Gavin Cleary, who tunes in every day on Facebook. Another reason why we stream to Facebook. What's up? He has a quick question. What was your quickest platform to get monetized from? So this might surprise you as a small YouTuber out there. So many of you guys are focusing on YPP, YouTube Partnership Program, or you're focusing on Twitch affiliate, your ability to get subs and to get bits and crap off of Twitch. Our first monetized platform wasn't any of those. Our first monetized platform, if you will, was a sponsorship. We got sponsored by Rode Microphones and got thousands of dollars in free, quote unquote, free gear as a result of that first sponsorship. And our second sponsorship, Restream.io, the one that's currently sponsoring this episode, sponsored us before we were monetized on any platform as well. So we've talked with you guys about this in the past, and we'll probably do another episode here in the future. You can pick up sponsors for your channel. If your channel dives into a niche that there's a low supply on and a high demand on, or even if you build a relationship with the sponsor through social media, you jump on calls, you seem like you're a reliable person, you can get cash sponsorships before you're even big enough to get Twitch affiliate or YouTube partnership or even Facebook level up creator, etc. If you can prove that you can provide value to that sponsor. Cash sponsorship, 4 figures per month cash sponsorship before we even got YPP. So that's why we're always talking to you guys about revenue diversification, is because you can get sponsorship revenue, Patreon revenue, and Amazon affiliate revenue. Just 3 examples I can think of right now before you even get partnered with any of these platforms. Too many of you guys in your initial growth phase are obsessed with getting partnered. Partnered is should be a minor revenue source for you in the long term. All those other revenue sources I just mentioned, plus more merchandise, etc., should be a bigger part of your equation, in my opinion. I mean, we just got a comment, Ross. I think you were bringing it up. Somebody was mentioning about our previous episode about Twitch affiliate. Why do you think people are so obsessed with Twitch affiliate and YPP? Can we talk about that a little bit in this initial startup phase of going to 0 to 1K subs?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it matters. It's just this idea I think that people have of, oh, I can actually, this is going to be the first step that I have in actually becoming a professional streamer and making this my full-time career. However, we know that doesn't work. We've all seen the estimates. Like, if you actually think that you're going to start off making a lot of money just by being partnered with this, I mean, what is it? I think the last number I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's like you're lucky to get $1,000 per million views. Like on average, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that as well. So unless you're really making a lot of big numbers, there's actually an argument that putting these ads and stuff in your videos as a small streamer can hurt you in the long run. That's why we always talk about going out and finding your own sponsorships, writing your own pitches and going out and literally contacting potential sponsors. Go look and see who these other sponsors and videos, who they're partnering. You're going to see a lot of people that are around your size. It doesn't take much to write up a proposal and make it a professional proposal, by the way, which I think we actually have another episode on, and actually reach out to them and see about getting them as a sponsor. That way you're not throwing ads actually in your YouTube content or in your Twitch content, like through the platform. It's incredibly important to be diverse when you're trying to monetize and become a professional streamer, but don't do it to the point where it's actually going to hurt your channel.
That's right. And so monetization is really important, and this is something to talk about for your first 1,000 subs and actually getting there. So you got for 0 to 1,000 subs on YouTube. We're talking about focusing on YouTube search in particular. And when we pull up all of our videos here, I'm going to pull up the screen right now so we can check it out. One of the big things that we focused on to get all of these subscribers is testing a range of topics related to streaming and content creation and social media, and just seeing which ones stick. And one of the topics we've noticed sticks harder on our channel than others is Facebook gaming topics. And so that's a big reason why we've continually covered Facebook gaming over and over and over on the channel. That's how a lot of you discovered us, is through our Facebook gaming content. Those are the episodes that got thousands of views within this niche. And so those videos in particular, we decided, you know what, anything at all that we can say valuable about Facebook gaming, we will on the channel, because that's working. And so when you're looking at doubling down on what's working, that's what we did, and it helped generate growth from us from scratch, guys. These episodes are not promoted episodes. There's no advertising. None of us are using giant YouTuber contacts we have to really to boost the channel growth. We're just doing this in completely organically, completely through search. And these live streams that we've been uploading to our YouTube channel are getting search. So that's another thing to keep in mind as a streamer. When we talk about the multi-streaming strategy, these are streams that you're looking at right here that are getting search. 6,000 views, 2,000 views, 1,000 views, hundreds of views per episode minimum. When we come visit this channel next year, guys, we're going to be getting 3 to 10,000 views every single stream. That's the growth trajectory that we're on. So when you grind this restreaming strategy, and when each stream that you upload to your channel is optimized for search, has a fantastic baller title, has a pretty good thumbnail, and I think our more recent thumbnails are starting to improve with our faces in them, etc. And you continually improve those, that research, that title, that thumbnail. You make sure that the second that your stream starts on your channel, you're delivering value that instant. That's how you start growing a streaming-based channel on YouTube. That's one thing to point out here. These aren't videos that are growing this digital drop channel from 0 to 1,000 in under a year. These are live streams. And you guys are coming back, you're tuning into our streams, and we've designed our streams. This is really important, guys. We've designed our streams to be viewable later as a replay, as a video. And that's why we keep them short and we keep the value super, super tight. And this is inspiration from I still consider him one of the top 3 at this point. If you want to pull up Typical Gamer's channel, we always talk about Typical Gamer, but Typical Gamer does exactly this strategy on YouTube. One of the guys I worked with back in the day 9 years ago now blew up to arguably the #1 or #2 streamer. If you want to click his videos tab at the top, you'll see what he's doing. But this is his strategy as well. He only releases live streams on his YouTube channel, and they get between, as you can see, 700 or 250,000 views to 1 million plus views per stream, only streaming on YouTube. And it's because he designs each and every live stream that he uploads to YouTube to be packaged as a video. So, new Wolverine skin in Fortnite Season 4. He creates a just ice cold killer thumbnail and title for that that's optimized. 2.6 million views. New Blade Hunter Vampire Hunter skin. Do you see how he's adding so much value in these thumbnails? There's new value, best value, learning value, challenge value. And each one basically looks identical to what a video would look like that's uploaded on YouTube, but instead it's a stream. And the second he starts every single stream, we've been talking about him for years. The second he starts every single stream, it's, yo guys, there he is in the corner. Yo guys, Typical Gamer here, bringing you the daily content in today's video. We got the new Wolverine skin, and it's gonna be freaking crazy. Can you believe this? I'm opening up this pack right now. The excitement is through the roof. Oh my God. And everybody watches the replays because the second he starts these streams, it's freaking excitement. It's blowing up. It's absolutely incredible. He's telling you all the value he's gonna deliver in the video, and then without further ado, let's jump right into it. And then he jumps into the content. This is something for all of you streamers to learn that find yourselves short on time, but you want your live streams on YouTube to perform, is if you start that live stream out super, super exciting, you give it an ice cold killer thumbnail, you give it an ice cold killer well-researched with Tubebuddy title, and then you start it out with value and you make it exciting the whole time, and as soon as it's not exciting, you just killed the stream. The strategy works, it works, it works. Typical Gamer's doing it on a very high level for gaming, and we are doing it within the niche, super niche of creator content advice videos, okay? If we can do it within this super tiny, eensy-weensy niche, you guys can easily do it within music, within fishing, within gaming, and the different topics that you're covering. And we wanted to share our case study with you. If we can do it from scratch, you can do it from scratch. And this is precisely how we've done it. Back to you, Ross.
So let's just recap here, kind of the things that we've talked about on your mission to get 1,000 subs 1 year. We talked about restreaming, how important that is. Get on every platform possible and get as many eyeballs on you as possible. We've talked about preparation, how we go through, we do our research, then we talk about the thumbnail game. You just showed you how to do that, how to make an effective thumbnail, find an optimized title. We talked about that. We showed you how to go do that on Tubebuddy, how to find a good score. And by the way, just because it scores high on Tubebuddy, it doesn't always mean that it's going to hit, but it certainly gives you a better chance. We talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but I wanted to get your take on this, Perrin, just about the quantity of content that you're going to have to put out in order to reach that 1,000 subs. Now, Perrin, for the longest time, actually up until like this week, you literally did this podcast, and then you actually did 2 streams per day on restreaming. So talk about the quantity about that, about how well do you think that you would have grown by, I don't know, cutting that down to, instead of what, 10 video or 10 live streams a week, cutting that down to like 4 or 5. Would you have reached that level of growth on Facebook gaming that you have now? And kind of put yourself in that situation on YouTube as well.
I mean, just look at it by the numbers. So if I'm producing 10 pieces of content a week and suddenly I'm producing 4, I'm going to grow 60% less fast, right? At least 60% less fast, right? Just because you're not putting yourself out there as often. And we had this with the Digital Drop podcast. We were doing it once a week. And then we shifted to doing 4 to 5 episodes a week, and boom, everything started to change because we're out there constantly. It's an eyeballs game. It's getting your brand, your content out there in front of as many eyeballs as often as you possibly can. So if you're going to do that less often, you're going to grow less quickly, generally speaking. I found this particularly with live streaming. So, I would do this podcast, I do a stream afterwards, and I do an evening stream as well. So I was doing 3 live pieces of content per day. Being live so frequently most of the day keeps people tuned in. They keep coming back because at some point in the day, I'm likely live somewhere. So they can find my content very easily. They don't need to know the exact times so much anymore. They just need to know where my page is. And if they go there, there's a relatively decent chance that I'm probably going to have some sort of new content there, or I've been live very, very recently. So having lots of new content is extremely important for growth. And it reiterates building a concurrent viewership. So especially if you're doing a live streaming strategy like the podcast is here, having that high concurrency of content, having that amount of new, fresh content is extremely important to building up a regular live audience. As soon as you break that mold, and that's what I'm testing this week. I'm testing, and we will be able to talk about this hopefully next week. I'm testing this week, breaking that mold, doing less, and I want to see how it matches with the Facebook algorithm as well, so that might be its own episode. But I'm testing to see if I were to do less streams, if I just do 1 live stream and the Digital Drop podcast per weekday, what happens? Just experimenting with that to see, to prove some points. So for now, though, it's undeniable that when we had the podcast, we went from 1 episode a week to 4 to 5, clear difference. Even though we hadn't quite figured out exactly what our bread and butter is, like what was the thing that's going to blow us up, it gave us that many more opportunities to try. And that would be my next thing, is stop doing the same thing over and over and over again, especially if it's not working, especially if you're grinding and you're getting like 1 to 5 views, or you're getting like 1 concurrent viewer. Experiment, like try tons of different things. That's how the podcast has gotten to where it is now. Did it start like this? Hell no, it didn't look like this at all. We've changed the format so many times. We've changed the topics so many times. We've gone from like to business oriented only to gaming only podcast to a hybrid of in between.
Yeah, it was like work from home consulting stuff at one point. It was social media only. Like we've done a bunch of different stuff until we landed on where we're at today. You're right.
Exactly. So, and it's because we jumped around and we tried so many new things that we found our niche. And this is the only time you can do that. I mean, once you get to be medium size or larger size and you carve out that niche, you can't really, I mean, you can a little bit if you 80-20 rule it, but you have less flexibility to try new things. So as a creator, it is and especially if you're new or just starting out, it's in your best interest to be experimenting, trying new things and seeing what sticks. Just throw things against the wall, see what's going to stick.
That's right. And if some of this seems confusing, a lot of people wonder, okay, should I focus, but I have a limited amount of time though, and should I focus my time on streaming versus making videos? And what should be my first monetization opportunity. What should be my first focus? How can you tell me more about how I can succeed with this? Which game should I get into? Which topic should I get into? I do offer a one-on-one coaching service if you guys are interested in that. I've helped countless creators go full-time doing this over the last 10 years, and I can help you now as well. I've just opened up the floodgates on it. Check it out. I now have, that's Andrew Perrin, that is not the floodgates. There it is. Go to awoldigital.com and you can book me for one-on-one coaching if you want me to help you out one-on-one. You basically can click the schedule one-on-one coaching button, or you can scroll down the page and you can just choose your date and choose your time, and you can just literally have me on a call one-on-one, reviewing your channel, reviewing your strategy, reviewing your online business, and I will help you grow. I work from creators, anywhere from people making, like $120,000 per month down to people that are making $0 per month as a content creator. And so this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love to do, and I would love to help all of you. Ross, close us out for the day, amigo.
Yeah, by the way, just to add on to what Perrin said, never forget that humans are creatures of habit. Being able to create a habit for your audience to where they know when you're going to be on and they know you're going to be on every day. They rely on you to be on every day. You literally become part of their life. Don't forget that we are creatures of habit, but also don't forget that we're on every audio platform if you're listening, and if you're or the other way around, if you're watching. If you're listening, go find us on YouTube. You can literally catch us anywhere. Subscribe to us and watch all the replays on YouTube.